Hello students, welcome to the Academia. Today I will discuss with you about the female reproductive system. In the female reproductive system, a pair of ovaries are found and a pair of uterine tubes, uterus, vagina, external genitalia and mammary glands are also included. Today I discuss the physiological structure of ovaries and their function. So, let's start. Each ovary consists of the following parts: germinal epithelium. The free surface of ovary is covered by a single layer of cubical cells that constitute the germinal epithelium. This epithelium is continuous with the mesothelium lining of peritoneum. It represents a modification of the peritoneum. The tunica albuginea. The germinal epithelium rests on a connective tissue layer called tunica albuginea. It is much thinner and less dense than that of the testes. Then, the cortex. Deep to the tunica albuginea, the cortex has a stroma made up of reticular fibers and numerous fusiform cells that resemble mesenchymal cells. Scattered in the stroma, there are ovarian follicles at various stages of development. Each follicle contains a developing ovum. Moving to the medulla. The medulla consists of connective tissue in which numerous blood vessels are found, basically veins. Elastic fibers and smooth muscles are also present. The hilum of the ovary is a site for entry of blood vessels and lymphatics. It is continuous with the medulla. The hilum also contains some remnants of the mesonephric ducts and hilous cells that are similar to interstitial cells of the testes. In the diagram, we can see the histological structure of ovary showing the follicles at various stages of development. The ovarian follicles, which produced in each menstrual cycle, consists of a developing ovum surrounded by a follicular cells. The development and maturation of an ovarian follicle passes through 4 stages. Number 1. Primordial follicle. Some cells of the stroma become flattened and surround an oocyte. These stromal cells are now called follicular cells. The oocyte and the flat surrounding cells form a primordial follicle. These follicles are smallest and simplest in structure. We can see it in the diagram that comparatively their size is small. Numerous primordial follicles are present in the ovary at birth. They undergo further development only at puberty. Next, moving to primary follicle. The first indication of that a primordial follicle is beginning to undergo further development is that the flattened follicular cells become columnar. Follicles at this stage of development are called primary follicles. The outermost layer of the follicular cells rests on a well-defined basement membrane which separates it from the ovarian stroma. A homogeneous membrane, zona pellucida, appears between the follicular cells and the oocyte. With the appearance of the zona pellucida, the follicle is now referred to as multilaminar primary follicle. Next, secondary follicle. The follicular cells proliferate to form several layers of cells that constitute the membrana granulosa. The cells are now called granulosa cells. The oocyte enlarges and reaches its maximum size, that is 125 μm, and this is called secondary follicle. The next one is the Graafian follicle. With the further development, the follicular cavity rapidly increases in size. As a result, the wall of the follicle becomes relatively thin. The Graafian follicle, as we see in the diagram, now measures about 10 mm or more in diameter and is seen bulging out of the cortex. The oocyte now lies eccentrically in the follicle surrounded by some granulosa cells that are given the name of cumulus ophoricus. As the follicle expands, the stromal cells surrounding the membrana granulosa become condensed to form a covering called theca interna. The cells of the theca interna later secrete a hormone called estrogen, and they are then called the cells of the thecal gland. Outside the theca interna, some fibrous tissues become condensed to form another covering of the follicle, which is called theca externa. So this is about the different phases of the ovary and various stages of its development. Hope you have understand this, and if you have any query regarding this, you can ask or can comment in the comment box. In the next videos, we have coming with ovulation process, what is the fate of ovum, and corpus luteum.